What's going on, guys? Solgr here from Sports Nerd Web. Welcome to this week's episode of the Solgr Fusha Only Show. I'm Solgr.
The one and only Fusha is here as well.
Once again, we're being joined by HomicidalLiu. How's it going today, bud?
It's going okay. Thank you for having me in the podcast.
No problem. This week we've been really busy
Yes.
working and streaming and all that, and so admittedly I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to kind of like a lot of the news going on. I've been paying I did listen to a little bit of like Destiny podcasts and stuff this week at work, so I did get like a little bit of news as far as that's concerned. So I think what we're gonna do on this week's episode is kind of just pull up GameSpot and kind of just go through some of the latest news stories and kind of just chat about some of that stuff. But one thing that we kind of have gotten the habit, well, we did it last week, and I'm trying to get in the habit of doing it frequently. At the beginning of every episode, we'll just kind of go around and talk about like what we've been playing lately. You kind of didn't really play anything this week, so
I've been too focused on finding a dress because we do have a wedding in a couple weeks, so
yeah, we can get into that too. So,
that's
but you did finally get a dress, so that's good at least.
I'm super stoked.
I am too.
I may need to get one more thing, but I'm gonna Google it.
One more thing. Oh, I thought you were done, so I guess one more.
Well, there's really two more things.
Oh my god.
The first one is just assembly with the dress. The second one is what the hell am I gonna do with my hair? I'm gonna keep it down. I'm gonna put it up. See? These are the things that have been occupying my mind, so I'm a little like space cadet, like
Right.
excuse me if I am not up to par.
All right. Well, let's do this then. So Homicidal, what have you been playing lately?
I've been into a game that's on the Games for Gold section on Xbox called Bayonetta.
Oh, Bayonetta was on that.
Yes, it's Xbox 360 Games for Gold. I think it's still up.
Okay.
As
Okay,
well.
so it's still on it right now?
I believe so. I can check. I'm already on Xbox at the moment, but I'm just making an emblem.
Yeah, cuz I've been planning on getting it on PC because how they recently ported it to PC.
All right.
So it's free, so you might as well just kind of, get it on that, but
Yeah.
I still kind of want to try it on PC though too. Cuz I've actually never played any of the Bayonetta games, so and I've really wanted to get into them.
I really want to get into Until Dawn because we ordered it, and as you know, I already played it once, but me and being so indecisive, I want to see what every choice happens if I make a different choice here. But the complicated part about that is I don't remember any of my choices. I just know I'm going to try not to be scandalous, and I'm going to try and let everybody live.
Well, when it gets to those parts, because that game specifically, like how their decision works, it's like just at certain increments you have a choice to make, and it can go either way.
Exactly, and see, and that's the thing with Life is Strange compared to that. It's the same general idea of a game, but Life is Strange is still slightly different. The way you can go back, and then if you go back too far, what you went back and tried to like destroy the evidence of, you just completely
yeah, because you can like actually you actually like rewind time or something, so you can go back and do it differently than you did before.
Whereas like you can do something here, but then you have to go back enough so that they don't realize you did it, whereas on Until Dawn it's just you made that choice, you go with it.
Right.
I kind of like that a little more because it was easier to just keep moving forward instead of trying to restart Life is Strange all the time.
Exactly. I think we kind of got into that one point when I was like, that's probably a perfect game for you because how with Until Dawn you always wanted to, you even did at one point, didn't you? Didn't you stop it and restart it? Or was it?
No, that was Strange.
Beyond.
That was Beyond.
It was Beyond, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I didn't like the choices I made.
So it was Beyond,
It
yeah.
turned bad, and I didn't like it. And I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean to be like the monster, the hated one, because I'm misunderstood and I'm just awkward. I'm like, no, that's not what I want the character to be.
Right.
And now we don't have it, so I really want to get Heavy Rain and Beyond.
The Beyond one, yeah.
For PS4, I would dive into that.
All right. So, so Homicidal, have you played any of that Bayonetta yet? Then, or
I've played quite a lot of it. Gotten through a couple of missions, seen what everything is about, and honestly, it does not look like an Xbox 360 game. During
Really?
the fight sessions, it looks like a full-on Xbox One remastered edition, even though it's an Xbox 360 backwards compatible game.
Right.
Yes, and it is also still on the games for gold on Xbox as well as the two Xbox One games for this month: Slime Rancher and Runbow.
Okay. Yeah. So all those games I haven't played.
Wow.
So I'm so glad that you brought that up. So tonight I am gonna download that Bayonetta, so I can give it a try.
Yeah.
I still might get the PC port eventually, maybe, I don't know, but like you said, I mean, you said it's even great looking, even though it's technically a 360 backwards compatible one. So
Yes, it's got really good graphics to it, and also I got a little bit of a disappointing thing to say about Destiny 2.
oh yeah,
The game capture mode of some applications such as OBS and XSplit will not be supported for Destiny 2.
okay. So wasn't that something that they mentioned in the TWAB this week? I think because I heard something about this on the Destiny Community podcast, but I don't know if it was like just for the PC version, because they were talking about the PC version, and I think it was something to do to help with like cheating or hacking or something like that. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit more. Like I didn't even read the TWAB for this week, but I might have to actually pull it up right now and see if I can find something on it.
Yeah, but it also shows me the things that you can use to capture Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it isn't, a big list, but shows you what you can use for full screen and in borderless full screen in window mode. So in full screen, hardware capture through methods such as Elgato, Ava Media, or a dedicated streaming PC is supported. NVIDIA Shadowplay and AMD Relive are also supported to capture while playing in windowed mode, including borderless full screen. OBS and XSplit screen capture mode is supported. OBS and XSplit window capture mode is also supported. So you'll still be able to stream Destiny 2, just won't be able to use the game capture. If you are going to stream it through, OBS and that, make sure it's borderless full screen or windowed mode, and it's on a screen capture or window capture.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much exactly how they were explaining it on the Destiny Community podcast as well. At least from the way I understood it. I don't want to quote them and those guys and saying something that they didn't, but that's pretty much the same way I understood it as well. Were you reading this from this week at Bungie? Is that where you were just reading that, or?
No, it's on an external website.
Oh, okay.
My brother sent me the link to it through Facebook.
Okay, yeah, that's fine because I have the TWAB, the This Week at Bungie, pulled up from this past Thursday, so it was from August 3rd. I'll just go over it real quick. Let's see, where are we at? Welcome to August. We've arrived at the last full month of waiting until Destiny 2 launches on consoles. Earlier this week, the words 5 weeks till launch sent a shiver up our spines during our morning huddle with the player support team. Don't take that the wrong way. We can't wait for you to experience what we've experienced in playtest and to experience it again with you, but there is much left to say and do before the first wave of you rush home to defend a city under attack. There are still some great moments we're looking forward to. We'll be at Gamescom to mix it up in Europe. Back home at PAX, we're planning an entire Destiny experience. We haven't met the last of you in real life before we cross paths with you on the farm. So that's interesting. Even though that we're only a month away, there's still Gamescom in Europe and PAX, which is, if I remember right, I think it's in Seattle, like in Washington State, where Bungie's located.
I've heard of PAX. I've heard of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's PAX. That's like PAX West, and there's PAX East, which I can't remember if it's like on the eastern side of America or if it's like PAX East, like in Europe. I'm not too sure on that. I can't really remember, but all right, continuing, it says, far away from any farm, Deej is in New York City right now. He won't tell me why, but he did leave town wearing his uniform black shirt, so I'm assuming he's not running away from home to join the theater again. While he's away, it's my pleasure to deliver the news. Yeah, because this week the TWAB is actually from Cosmo. One more into the beta. Last week at Bungie, we told you that the Destiny 2 PC beta will begin on August 28th. That began a conversation that will lead new players to our community. We promised that there would be more information to come, and it's time to deliver the goods. All summer long, we've been using a baseline of activities to introduce players to Destiny 2 and test its functionality. The Destiny Reveal event, E3, the console beta, they've all relied on a small sample of the game we're making. Each occasion introduced something new to experience. As the final step of our pre-launch exploration, the PC beta will be no different. Our goals for the PC beta: to test the functionality for D2 on a new platform, give PC players their first taste of D2 in action, leave a world of surprises in store for the final version of the game. So what you'll play in the PC beta: the Homecoming story mission, Inverted Spire Strike, Countdown on Midtown, and now this is the new thing. On the PC beta, you're going to get Control on a new map called Javelin 4. So Countdown is still going to be on Midtown, but the Control part is going to be on a different map called Javelin 4.
So they're adding some more exclusive content to another console now, because with Destiny 1, you had different maps for PS4 and different maps for Xbox One.
Exactly. I think, though, this is just going to be for the beta, though. Like, I still think the only exclusive content you're going to be getting, like, console-wise, is the PlayStation is going to have, the additional stuff. Because that's just a deal that Activision has with Sony. Bottom line is what that comes down to. The PC beta will also include evidence of some additional tuning of the player experience. We've answered feedback on how often you have access to power ammo or your super abilities. I'm so glad that they are retooling that, because that was one of, if you remember right, when we talked about some of our complaints about the beta, that was kind of my really only kind of minor issues that I had with it was the lack of
slow.
Exactly.
As well as
the grenades as well too. I personally felt like the grenades. Okay, so I agree. In Destiny 1, grenades were too OP, especially the stickies. So I agree that they needed to be nerfed, but I think they went a little overboard. I mean, grenades didn't do jack in that Xbox D2 beta that we played. But it says in here, we've answered feedback on how often you have access to power ammo or super abilities. These changes will be subtle. If you are on board for the console beta, see if you can detect them. If this is your first dance with Destiny, be sure to tell us how it feels. It must be said once again, this is a test. The PC is a platform we've never shipped Destiny on, so there will be evidence of ongoing construction here and there. Even if you played in the console beta, you would be a priceless test resource for us. Not only will you have a chance to appreciate the differences, you'll be doing your part to ready us for launch. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Exclusive to the PC build for Destiny 2 will be an issue that might impact the way you capture content or talk to your teammates. Excuse me. So this is kind of what you're going over right here. We've seen this question a lot since we first talked about the PC. What will Bungie be doing to prevent online cheating in Destiny 2? For obvious reasons, we won't explain our full counter-cheating strategy in depth, but there is one element of how we'll protect the game that might require adjustments on the part of our new friends in the PC gaming community. Some applications that people use when they play games try to add code to the game client. In the right hands, this can enable some nice features to enhance your experience as a player. In the wrong hands, this can be destructive to the world we share in the game. To help ensure that every player will have a fair shot at fun and glory in Destiny 2 on the PC, we'll resist attempts from applications to add code to Destiny. Our game needs to be the foremost authority on your fate as a guardian. So that's why this makes sense that OBS is actually seeing this, because OBS is open source, so.
Yeah. So I know exactly what they mean by for obvious reasons, and that would be because any sort of hacker would be able to guess them obvious reasons sooner or later. And if they find out that information, I mean, now they know that OBS is one of the things that they've restricted. They could use that to their advantage as well, but not as much as what they would be able to do if they found out what the main frame of the anti-cheat frame is going to be there for. And if you don't know the entire construction of it, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to go as easy as you would be able to if there was like either minor, or if they just went out and just blurted out every single anti-cheat codex that they've put in place, because that'd just be stupid.
Exactly. and Bungie is no secret to a community. I'm trying to think of how to word this, but like a community that is smart. You know what I mean? I mean, they see like all these, even in Destiny 1, like how, you'll see community members that find these crazy glitches and to do stuff, these
as well.
Yeah, just all this, stuff. So I mean, they know how how smart people are out there to get around stuff. So they have to take every precaution that they can.
Exactly.
And I mean, especially like look at like the modding community, like in other PC games, like I mean, you even see games now like Skyrim and stuff that have actually mods on console versions now. You're actually seeing that move over into the console space now. So
it just makes it more interesting.
Exactly. And what's interesting too is with Destiny 2 being released on the Battle.net client, they've had really good success with like Overwatch and stuff like that, so I think Destiny, well, Bungie and Activision obviously chose a good client, so.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Yeah, so I mean Overwatch has been really well for them, and like World of Warcraft and and all those other ones, so but yeah, you're fine. Just continuing on the rest on here, it's pretty much what you pretty much just exactly said, so I don't really need to go over that as well, but so hopefully it works, like I wouldn't be totally surprised, down the line, like I think, you probably are going to see instances like people are going to get past it, like it's just, it's going to come up to them to what they do, for damage control with whatever happens, and how they can prevent and learn from any kind of thing that happens. So, I mean, because it's still going to happen, but this is probably a good security measure.
Yeah, even though people ain't going to like it.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be people, exactly. There's going to be people out there that don't like it, for sure.
Well, there's always going to be the horrible critics that hate it just because they want to hate it, even though it's like something incredible.
Well, not even necessarily coming down to that. I mean, it could even come down to like how he was saying, how you have to use like an Elgato, or I think window capture was supported.
Window and screen capture mode is supported with borderless full screen and windowed mode in game. You can use Elgato and other stuff for the exclusive full screen.
Okay.
it's going to be easier on you if you just use the borderless full screen. Come on.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. So pretty much, so like somebody that's not going to like that decision. So someone that it tries to stream Destiny 2 and they don't know that, and they try using the option that's not supported. So all they have to do is just use the other. Because like when I stream PC games, sometimes I switch between game capture and display capture or monitor capture. It's the same thing.
Yeah, display capture, monitor capture, screen capture is all the same thing, technically.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine a universe where everything is just one, all within itself? It's not like, oh, this side or that side. It's just one within itself.
Well, going, I think, to your point, but even a step farther, like imagine like a world with no war or disagreement, right, or disagreement over like religion, anything like that. Think, with just one peace and harmony, what would that be like?
If there's
the world would be a much better place.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If there was like a universal charger, if they just start with a universal charger where it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have, it's gonna work for any phone. They can evolve from that, and then it'll be no longer Xbox and PlayStation. It'll be like, oh, this is just a video game. That'll never happen, but in a world of what if.
That took a pretty existentialist spiritual turn.
I'm like sleep deprived at this point, so I mean, you're lucky I'm as coherent as I am right now.
I know. I'm pretty sleep deprived too. I mean, I'm surprised the stream's been going. I mean, because we were streaming before we started the podcast, obviously, and we're getting close to 10 hours, and it's still only 6:45 our time. So once we wrap this up, I am going to wrap up the stream and we're going to relax and hang out and probably finally watch a movie, because we haven't talked about a lot of movies on the podcast because we haven't really been watching it. We still haven't seen Wonder Woman. We still haven't seen Spider-Man. Like,
we are behind on the times.
Yeah, we are failing so bad right now.
Bad. But I do want to thank you, Homicidal, for joining us in Zombies. It is fun when we play with like the 3 teams. Well, not 3 teams, but
3 people.
3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice segue, because I was actually just getting to that.
I read your mind. No, I'm kidding.
So kind of continuing, like, pretty much over the last week, I've just pretty much been doing the same thing. I haven't played hardly any console games. Tonight, right before we started the podcast, was actually the first console game I had played in a while. Fusha and I finally jumped back into our Infinite Warfare Zombies in Spaceland stream. Homicidal joined us. It was a good time. But yeah, all week I've pretty much just been streaming PC games again. Pretty much just Warframe and PUBG pretty much all week again. We've been going crazy on that.
I just want to put this out there that we have been trying to stream co-op zombies, and we've been trying to do more dual streams, but every time we're about to do it, something happens that I am just really glad. It was a brilliant idea, and I'm glad I was watching your stream when you said it. You were like, hey babe, you want to do? I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm down. Because I was really excited to do one last night, and then you can't control.
That's the thing, because we did our zombie stream today, which is a Sunday instead of the usual Saturday night.
But it still works because it's Survival Sundays. It's still SS.
But speaking of zombies, though, top story on GameSpot right now, it says Call of Duty World War II Zombies devs promise genuine scares, difficult secrets. So I haven't read this yet, so let's see what this is. Call of Duty World War II Zombies was revealed around San Diego Comic-Con with a cast that includes actors from Daredevil and Doctor Who. Oh yeah, what? I think Tennant's in it.
What?
I think I heard this. I totally forgot about this.
What?
Oh nice. That's amazing.
That is gonna be like something we have to pay attention to.
Let's see, here it is. Okay, branching off the storyline, here it is. Ahead of a bigger reveal at San Diego Comic-Con this week, the first 2 actors for Call of Duty World War II Zombies mode have been announced. Doctor Who and Harry Potter actor David Tennant will play Drosten Hind. Actress Elodie Young, who plays Elektra on the Netflix show Daredevil, will portray a character named Olivia Durant.
The way that they worded that, I almost thought it was a different character in Harry Potter. I'm like, wait, no, Tennant was in Harry Potter.
Yeah, too. David Tennant was in Harry Potter, so...
It took a half a second.
I forgot, I did hear that somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot to tell you that. So yeah, David Tennant's going to be in World War II Zombies.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for that. That's awesome. That just made my night.
Okay, but here we go. More on that though. But the more interesting takeaway from the reveal was that as opposed to the more humorous and outlandish entries in the Zombies offshoot, World War II Zombies mode will be aiming for darker, horror-focused experience. Sledgehammer, the development studio behind the upcoming series entry, was founded by a team well known for their collaboration on the Dead Space franchise. And talking with the Cameron Dayton, Sledgehammer's creative director, and John Horsley, development director, it sounds like World War II will play to the developers' strengths: gritty, dark horror. In the interview below, we discussed Zombies' announcement, how secrets play into the franchise, and how the team is working to make both World War II Zombies in general feel fresh for a modern audience. So I'm not going to go ahead and read this whole interview, but the interview you can read at GameSpot.com. But what do you think about this though? Just first, what do you think? Just first thoughts about a more serious, darker kind of zombie experience in COD World War II.
Sorry.
Well, I was asking Homicidal specifically on that one. I'll get to you, and then you can go next.
Honestly, it's good for the thrill seeker for horror.
Mm-hmm.
It's also good for the someone that wants to, rush through and just get straight into the action of good old classic shoot the zombies' brains out. And the fact that they're bringing David Tennant in it, I'm stoked for that.
I'm stoked on that.
He's a great freaking character. He can go extremely serious if he wants to, and if they're going to bring out a serious vibe into Call of Duty World War II Zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the guy for it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
He will be serious if he wants to be serious.
Yeah.
I think they've made a good
especially
move on
how he uses his voice sometimes too. And that's what it's going to be. It's a voice acting role. It's a game voice act, So I'm stoked for that, yeah.
Yeah, David Tennant, you can change his voice at will. You could disguise him and you can put on a completely different voice and you will not be able to recognize him.
Yeah, especially how he used it in Harry Potter is what I'm thinking of specifically, like how he did it in there, because he was really good in that. What do you think about it?
Please forgive me. Refresh my brain. Sorry,
about World War II Zombies taking a more serious thing, and David Tennant being in it, and
I think it's exciting because it's like a whole new twist to what you're used to.
Right, yeah.
I think it's a really good idea, and it's a good way to branch out and be something new, because in this day and age, it's like, there's the nostalgic 80s and 90s of Nintendo and all this other stuff, that like people these days are like, oh, I want to go back to the 90s, but then it's still, well, let's come out with the next new big thing. Let's make it better than the last.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make you forget about the last. That it has that stigma, but it doesn't have it in a bad way. It has it in more of an exciting new twist, new thrill, something revamped that could be very interesting.
I'm glad you actually started making that point, because that is actually kind of it's kind of the way I was thinking too, because Call of Duty, it's no secret, it's a series that comes out every single year, and they have to do stuff to. I mean, the base game, the World War II base game, in and of itself, is trying to change things up. They're going back to their roots. They're going back to World War II.
Exactly.
So I'm glad that they're doing this with zombies. I'm glad that they're trying something different. They're going for a more serious tone than instead of a humorous one.
It's like you just said, they've made so many of the same that you can only do so much with the same content for so long before you're going to need the next big thing, because there's always going to be something that you can't always stick to your old ways, no matter how bad you want to keep a house line as a phone. Like,
you eventually got to cut the cord, so to speak,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Gotta become one at the times and evolve with everything else, because I mean, we've come so far that it's like in the beginning, when everything first came out, it was okay to be repetitive and have the same, ooh, it's this, but the bad guy's just different. It's still the same baseline. you know, and
I agree. I think there's definitely much more pressure on developers now to be innovative
Especially
than there
with
probably
E3.
ever has been.
especially with how big the gaming conferences have gotten, and then not only that, but the competitive playing where they're playing for like millions of dollars. I was actually watching that on TV not too long ago.
Yeah, the game industry itself is huge. You know, you have esports now, like we were talking about.
It's expanding a lot, and you're either gonna have to adapt or die off.
Exactly, and studios like the game industry has picked itself back up, but when there was the big economic collapse, at the end of last decade and stuff, the game industry is in a way kind of recession proof because it still went on, obviously, but it definitely didn't come out of it unscathed. A lot of studios closed, a lot of games were canceled,
especially once there was the whole stigma, oh, video games are just violent and this and that, and it's like, it's not.
Video games are always going to have that problem, though. They're always going to be facing that issue.
They're going to be blamed for everything.
I do want to say this on another side note about the same whole adapting to the times, the changes. I really wish the Hollywood movie industry would realize that and come up with their own original ideas instead of making movies out of books and then destroying the books, and then it's like,
that's a whole nother topic in and of itself.
That's why I said it as a side note, is that you see a lot more remakes of older movies or movies turned into books than you do original imaginative movies that used to be. It's like, I just wish that Hollywood would pick up with the times that the gaming industry had already caught the train for.
It's as if the movie industry have lost all creativity.
Exactly.
They seriously have. It's like,
exactly.
I am impressed when I come across something that has genuine interest of, it's different, and that it's an original. It's not a photocopy. It's not like a carbon copy of a book. It's not a remake. It's something. Although the one thing that they are doing right is bringing superheroes to life in comics.
And that's the big thing,
because I think that is the main thing that is saving their ass right now, is that they have these comic book movies that they're coming out with, and everybody's loving them, because with this generation, we grew up reading the comics.
Yeah, Marvel,
so
the Marvel and DC movies right now are kind of saving the film industry in a way.
I really think so, because it's like it's not necessarily something new, but a comic book isn't necessarily a book, and so it's an interesting take on bringing.
They are pulling something from other source material. They are pulling something from existing IPs. But
they're doing it in such a way that they're sticking to the roots of what the comics were.
Exactly.
And it's all thanks to Stan Lee.
Yeah, obviously Stan Lee is a big part.
Back to video games. I just had to get that out there about movies, because we do have a lot of movies to catch up on. But it's also hard to want to go out and watch new movies when it's like, to continue on with the movie thing, it's like when The Heat came out with that one other movie, or like No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits. Same plot, same story, different actors. Like,
yeah, those two were so identical.
Although I will admit, I liked them both.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know. It's the only thing that movies have going for them right now is the Marvel and DC, because they're bringing, and that's why I'm so interested to see Beauty and the Beast. I'm nervous about it, but I think it'll be cool to see it come to life, because it's what I grew up to.
I am Blackout. Thank you for that follow. Sorry, we're recording our podcast right now, but thank you so much for that follow and for that support. Thanks for hanging out and stopping by.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm really stoked to. I mean, with the whole Call of Duty thing, I'm pretty sure we'll probably get World War II. Probably on day one, just because of our zombie thing. You know, we always play zombies. But with this news, I am more hyped over it now, though.
You know what I'm really interested in? You showed me, I think the name of it is Detroit. The game where it's like the robots. I I'm honestly super stoked for that, and that's one that I would want to get into because it's like the iRobot version of video games.
It does kind
And
of look something along
it's
those
like a
lines.
little evolved synth idea from like Fallout, where it's like, oh, is it human or machine? And how like that one, because you don't necessarily see that portrayed in video games. Like, yeah, you do like Tron, classics, but it's like a new reamped one that I'm actually excited for because I kind of like the whole Terminator robots are gonna take over. Oh no.
Well, the banner we have hanging up is Deus Ex. Deus Ex deals with the same thing, you know, between augmented people like with robotic prosthetics and stuff, and
I don't know what it is about that type of genre, but I like it, and I am excited for Detroit because I think the way that they advertised it, it's coming from a whole new angle in a video game that I'm excited for that one. And I don't usually get too excited about too many games because
it's those style of games that you like, those, you know, Until Dawn and Heavy Rain and those really cinematic like
I'm very picky with my video games.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't necessarily think it's all by choice. It's just sometimes I'm not good at it, and then I get frustrated that I don't improve, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna play.
Right.
And then I find something that I do like.
All right. Well, moving on to the next story I see here on GameSpot. This one's interesting because I've actually kind of been wanting to. I've kind of wanted to dive back into this just to kind of chill and hang out and explore a little bit, but I know I would get roasted on Twitch so bad. People would drop in that directory and be like, "You're playing this?" Like, I'm sure I would get trolled so hard. But No Man's Sky.
Oh god. I know that game had so much hype, and then it just.
I know that has been done to death. We're not going down that subject about the game.
That one got
downfall of all
returned to
game
the game store
history.
so quick. Like, did you notice how quick that one went into the used game collection?
I know.
No shame in our game. We buy used games. They still work. They're cheaper. Bargain.
I bought it new though the day it came out.
Right, you bought that one new because you were super stoked about it, but
every time this game comes up, I always say the same thing. Okay, like I didn't hate it, I didn't also love it, but the thing is I kept myself pretty ignorant to the hype and all that because I mean I was hyped over it, but I also wasn't looking at every video and every interview, so I didn't know all this stuff that was promised. You know, I just knew a few things about it. So I didn't have like crazy high expectations. So like I wasn't let down by all, because a lot of people that hated it and all that, they were let down by all those kind of like false promises, you know, that Sean Murray was promising and all that. So I didn't know about all that, so I wasn't let down by that. So my whole thing with that game is, yeah, there wasn't a lot of stuff in it that they said was going to be in it, and that's messed up. But what it did do, it did well. It was a fun game to chill and just explore how you can just fly right off the planet. And like that game was only like a 12 or 15, like something like that gig game, and that game was massive. Like like what that game did do was incredible. But and the thing is I've been wanting to get into it because I haven't played it since any of these updates, because it has seen a couple updates since launch, some big ones. Like I haven't played it. The first one was called the Foundation update, which added like base building, and then there was a second one that added like rover, like ground vehicles or something. But the headline of this story, it reads, bizarre No Man's Sky live stream happening now as part of an alternate reality game. So I guess there's some kind of No Man's Sky ARG going on. It says a complicated, enigmatic No Man's Sky alternate reality game has been in progress since June, and fans currently believe that it points to a big new update coming this month. Today, the ARG got even more mysterious. A live stream is underway right now, but there's no word yet on what it will reveal. The live stream is hosted by the Twitch account Waking Titan, the name of the ARG, and at the time of this writing, it shows a computer setup with the words "Test Scenario Inactive" visible on a monitor. So that sounds really really subliminal. Strangely, on the desk is a cage with a hamster in it. According to a Waking Titan memo, this hamster is called Subject MN00DL35, whatever, some weird subject number, and is part of some sort of test. The memo reassures viewers that the animal faces no danger and won't be exposed to anything harmful. If you're interested in reading more about the ARG and the efforts to solve it, check out the No Man's Sky subreddit thread on it here. There's a link to it. There's no official word yet on what the August update might include. Developer Hello Games has been tight-lipped about the game since its previous update in March, but fans speculate from hints in the ARG that it will feature a new species among other additions. And then it pretty much just talks about the first two updates that I already mentioned. The Foundation update with base building, and the second one that added land vehicles. So, Homicidal, I'll start with you. What do you kind of think about this? I mean, I kind of want to read a little bit more into it because I'm always interested by ARGs and stuff, so...
I'm the worst person you can ask that because...
You hate No Man's Sky with a passion, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those of you that don't know me very well, I will bring back a dead meme as quick as I can. And being the one that hates No Man's Sky to oblivion, for the sheer fact that I've seen so many freaking Twitch fail clips of it crashing down on people.
Oh yeah, it was a mess
That's
too.
one thing
yeah.
I want to ask.
Yeah.
Did they fix the thing they were known for?
Right. Well, see, my personal experience with it, I have it on PS4. I never had any crashes or anything like that. And I remember when it was coming out and all that stuff was going on, I think it was the PC version that had a lot of problems. I mean, I think there was people having problems on PS4, but I think...
The only ones I saw was ones on PS4, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay,
And
okay.
I was wondering if I wanted to, say that, because I know I'm going to get obliterated by No Man's Sky fans.
Right.
But I hate the game with a passion. Would I get it? No. Would I play it? No. Would I ever think about getting it? No. I'm just going to say that.
Right. Well, I mean, it's interesting because in this article on GameSpot, it has a picture, like a screen grab from this ARG live stream or whatever that I guess is still going on right now, and it says that there's like 1,100 something people watching it, and I from what it looks like it's literally just like, I don't know. I might have to check it out. I guess it's a Twitch channel called Waking Titan, which I guess is the name of the ARG, but it looks like it's just almost just like a still shot. So is it literally just 1,238 viewers?
Oh, right. So 1,238 views, 1,238 ways you can crash No Man's Sky.
Right.
You can tell I hate the game with a passion. I really do.
See,
and that's no lie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. Like I don't blame anybody for hating it, because like I said, like I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I was kind of whatever about it. Like I give them props for what they did do. Like it is kind of incredible. Like the foundation of it. Like how. Because like I said, there isn't a game out there, where you can just fly off the planet like that and fly for, 10 hours, hours and hours and hours in one direction. So, I mean, and it was all just done by crazy algorithms and math and all this crap that I'm too stupid to understand, so it did that well. But the thing was, like like I said, I got it when it first came out. I don't know how much time I even totally put in it. Maybe I'd be curious to look it up, but I think I only put maybe 15 hours tops in it, maybe. So like I didn't play it like a crazy ton. And I haven't played it obviously in...
That's one of the ways I ended up getting into an argument with my friend as well.
The best ways to get into arguments is bring up religion, politics, and No Man's Sky.
No, I actually bought him a copy of No Man's Sky for his birthday, and I knew exactly how much he hated the game. He said, the first person that gets me No Man's Sky for my birthday, I will physically murder. So I'm just like, you know what?
You got it for him?
I bought it No Man's Sky.
Oh my god.
Wait, what I missed?
One of his buddies hates No Man's Sky so bad, and he even told him if anyone was to buy me that game, I'd murder them. And so what did Homicidal do?
Oh,
he bought him.
God.
He bought him No Man's Sky.
Oh my. You know,
He still hates me for it.
this is the most unrelative. Actually, it's two things. It's like that movie that my brother-in-law gave me, The Village. He's like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "I didn't really like it." He's like, "Take it. It was horrible." But
He did. Yeah, he didn't even want it in the house.
the first thing I was gonna say about murder is, well, you already know it's gonna be like, you're gonna be my first and last ever wedding.
Mm.
Ah, my ears got stuck.
All right, and then this is actually this is actually a news story relating to PUBG. It says PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds crosses 500,000 concurrent players, nears second most all time. It seems only a matter of time before PUBG passes CSGO for peak concurrent users. PUBG's popularity still hasn't hit a ceiling yet. Developer Bluehole announced today that the game hit a new milestone, crossing 500,000 concurrent players. This is a really high number of people to be playing at the same time. PUBG momentarily had the second highest number of concurrent users behind Dota 2, exceeding CSGO. Over the past few years, it has been very unusual to see CSGO at any ranking below number 2, and Dota 2's place at the top has been seemingly invulnerable. PUBG peaked at 523,000, coming even closer to CSGO's record for concurrent users at 546,000. In July, the game surpassed Fallout 4's peak concurrent users to enter third place on the list. You can see the top 100 most played games over at Steam's stats page. So that's crazy that Fallout 4. Yeah, on this list, even Warframe is pretty high on the list. 1, 2, 3,
It's wild,
4,
but
5,
will I be able to add something to that?
Yeah.
You know, is the bugs that you've been experiencing with PUBG lately?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like No Man's Sky has a new competitor.
Well, I don't know. Okay. Obviously, it gets a lot of people salty, but I don't think PUBG can. I don't think it would ever get to that level. But it is incredible what PUBG has done this year. You know what I mean? Like it's still technically like in early access. So that's why. Here's the thing, though. Speaking to your point, if it hits, if it comes out of early access, it hits, full release or whatever, and it's still like in the state that it's been at lately, then you might see it go the way of No Man's Sky almost.
I'm just going to say, you may not want to mention my name at the end of this, because I know people are going to be charging at me, why do you hate this? Why do you hate that? Why hate No Man's Sky? Because it's a bad game. I hate it with a passion.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, though, because I think that's kind of... I mean, I don't want to say that's like the popular opinion. I think it's like kind of equal. I mean, because you will find No Man's Sky fans out there, but there's also a good amount of people that don't like it either. I mean, me personally, I guess I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess you can call me Switzerland on it. I'm neutral.
Yeah, but onto the thing of where I bought that game, No Man's Sky, my friend. I have a habit for buying games for people if they don't like it for like birthdays and Christmas, which is why I bought my dad Overwatch. He hates the game, he doesn't like it, so I bought him it.
Oh god. Okay, so the last thing we'll get into here, the last story I see here, related to Destiny. So, Destiny 2 pre-orders exceed Destiny 1's. Overwatch and Hearthstone bring Blizzard a big quarter. Blizzard did well, even with no new game releases. Let's see, I just kind of wanted to get on the Destiny part. Okay, with the release of Destiny 2 approaching, Activision noted that the recent console beta attracted more players than Destiny 1's beta. Additionally, pre-orders for the sequel have eclipsed those of the first game, although no specific figures or further comparisons were offered. Okay, so it looks like that they didn't release specific numbers, so we just kind of have to take their word for it that Destiny 2 saw more players than in the beta than Destiny 1, and also has more pre-orders. So I'm kind of not surprised by that, just for the fact that it's also releasing on a new platform, right? So you're opening up a whole new customer base, right? So I'm kind of not surprised by it. It's a
huge seller.
Yeah.
Because, if you got someone on more than one platform, never mind 3 platforms, I wouldn't be too surprised if they start trying to get it onto the Nintendo Switch. Because that's what people are starting to do, and there's been rumors that games, are starting to go, you've got games like would original, it would be on PC, would be on the Nintendo Switch. I can give you a really good example of that. What's it called now? Binding of Isaac.
Right.
That's been released on the Nintendo Switch.
And Skyrim's getting a Switch release as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I've heard people bring up, kind of like not rumors that Destiny would be on the Switch, but just the possibility, like kind of like how you just brought it up. But I don't think Destiny would really work on the Switch just because it being such, the online heavy game that it is, and the Switch's network is
terrible,
right? So I don't know how a game like that would really work. I think Nintendo would have to get their crap together for that to work, right? So I don't think we would ever see that, but this is still, I mean, I know I kind of discredited it a little bit by saying, of course, there's going to be more because it's open to the PC now. But they did say the console beta saw more players than Destiny 1, and that's just consoles because the PC one hasn't even happened yet. So that's still a really big feat in and of itself, because Destiny 1 had, especially around the beta time, had a lot of hype from it because this was Bungie, the kings of Xbox at the time, pretty much, with the first 3 Halos and all that.
As well.
Exactly. So this was Bungie's new IP. This was their new game, their new universe, and so it was super hyped, and a lot of people played that D1 beta. So that's a pretty good sign. Hopefully it's a good sign of things to come for D2.
Yeah, I mean, if you got something that's going well, just keep going with it. Just try not to go too far into it, and do exactly what it is.
Of wisdom.
Bring back a dead meme.
Right.
Don't bring back a dead game.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's Spyro.
I really wish they would bring back Spyro.
I heard good reviews that because of how good Crash Bandicoot did, they're seriously considering doing Spyro because of how good Crash Bandicoot
I have heard something about that too. I can't remember where I read it or heard it, but it was kind of something along the lines of, like if Crash does really well, don't be surprised if you see like a Spyro remaster, or maybe an all new Spyro game.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would love. It would be so awesome. I'm glad that we're seeing this kind of resurgence of platform games again.
I know, because it's taking it back to the roots.
Mm-hmm.
It's like respecting, not forgetting where it started.
Yeah, the PS1 had a lot. Well, yeah, the PS1 had some great platforms. I mean, platform games were kind of the big thing back then. Yeah, because Spyro and Crash, and all that. So it would be awesome to see another Spyro.
Yeah, man, if it's something, that hasn't been made for a long time, which I have not seen a Crash Bandicoot yet, before Insane Trilogy came out, I hadn't seen a Crash Bandicoot game besides Crash Bandicoot Racing. Like, I haven't seen a general platform since the PS1 edition.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because I'd like to see that they are bringing it back.
Yeah.
Because it was a good game. And, you know, I would have loved to see it come back later.
I loved Crash Bandicoot too, but you know what game was really fun and will always be a classic? Paperboy.
Oh God, Paperboy on the NES. I used to play that. I used to play a ton of Paperboy.
There was actually the other weekend when I went out to the bar. There's an old arcade underneath because it's 2 levels. I never actually gone into the arcade. I thought it was just a modern day Nickelcade arcade. Well, last time I went out to the bar, the door was still open, but nobody was in there because the owner was up at the bar, you know, just having a few drinks. It was closing time. So we go in there, and to my surprise, Pac-Man. It is Miss Pac-Man, Tron, all of the old school classics. All of the old school classics. And so
classics are brilliant.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, is this really, like, how did I never actually come in here? Why did I think this was just a modern one? And, I mean, it even had a sign for some of the machines, play at your own risk, no refunds. Because they're so old.
Yeah, they're old.
But I happened to have $1, so I got some quarters, and I played Miss Pac-Man, and I almost beat it. And it was just, I was like, oh my god, I feel like a kid again. Like, the nostalgia hit me so hard. I was like, I have to go back here.
And nostalgia has always been big, but it's definitely coming back a little bit more lately because there was the NES Classic, which sold like hotcakes, and Nintendo couldn't even keep it on the damn shelves. They're still hard to get, and I don't think they're even making them anymore. But now they're going to be coming out with the SNES Mini or the SNES Mini or SNES Classic, whatever they're calling it now. But now they're coming out with the SNES one, so
yeah,
it's in.
Right.
Yeah, and whilst we're on the topic of the NES Mini, there's one game on there that took me back to the game that I loved back when it was out on the NES and when I was playing it like when I was 7, because my dad used to own an NES. That game, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yes. Yep.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I loved that game and I still love it, even though it's a difference to what it originally was, because on the NES Mini, it's no longer called Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It's just called Punch-Out.
Right. Yeah, they took out the Mike Tyson of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the new guy is actually called Mr. Dream, which, why pick such a ridiculous freaking name in the first place? But besides that, it's still got the same game mechanics. Only difference that I saw was Mr. Dream and the name change of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out itself. The game mechanics was still there. You still have Glass Joe, Von Kaiser, and all them. It was still, you know, in its classic brink, and it's still there to, you know, love, enjoy, get back to the old school games, which I recommend everyone else should get back into the old school games, because that was when gaming was at its finest, in my opinion. Because that's when, you know, everything started, you know, evolutionizing and, you know, taking different turns, different experiments on different games. I mean,
exactly.
I just want to get Punch-Out for the Wii.
Yeah.
Because they've still got Glass Joe and Von Kaiser there, but they did bring Super Macho Man. They actually have Donkey Kong and Punch-Out for Wii now as well. Donkey Kong's in it as well.
I mean that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, you know, with the film industry and the lack of creativity.
Right.
Back then, these games, you know, like you were just saying, you know, they were the first of its kind. They were the evolution of what we know now. So
exactly.
So they didn't have all this past and experience to go off of. So they really had to be creative and innovative and original, you know. So I mean, now, exactly. You know, you have 30, 40 years, you know, of game history behind you, you know, that you can kind of influence off of. But back then, you know, these were the pioneers and the originators, and like you said, the best times. Like some of my fondest memories of gaming, was when I, of course, NES, Super Mario 1, 2, 3, Duck Hunt, all that. And then even going up to like the Nintendo 64, GoldenEye, 4-player split screen, with all my homies from school and stuff.
Cartridge tilting.
That was some of the, oh god, yeah. Unplugging their controller so you can.
That was amazing.
Unplugging their controller without them knowing so you can take them out.
That was a sneaky move. I'm a guilty culprit for that, by the way.
So I'm guilty as hell of that.
Don't come near me.
I used to do that all the time.
No, that's the reason why I kept on winning on the classic Halo games on Xbox Classic. I kept on unplugging my brother's controller. I got slapped for it, but it was worth it.
Right.
To say the least.
Yeah, Solaris in chat, GoldenEye was my beast of a game. Yeah. One of my favorite games of all time, for sure.
Oh, I didn't tell you. You know how I went and got Beans and Brews the other day?
Mm-hmm.
This is completely unrelative. We got a free one.
Okay, nice.
Sorry, random.
All right. What I wanted to go over lastly before we wrap this up is the August release schedule. Since this is our first episode for the month of August, so I'm just gonna kind of go down the list here. There's The Long Dark for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Patapon Remastered, Tacoma, Black Hole. Hellblade, August 8th for the PS4 and PC. This one is interesting. This was on the cover of Game Informer a couple months back. Mm-hmm. Remember, it was the one that deals with like schizophrenia and
it's very interesting.
It's from the creators of Heaven's Sword, and it looks really interesting. So I definitely recommend checking out probably GameInformer.com or just Google something. Game Informer's Hellblade coverage, and it looks really interesting. So I don't think I'll buy it on day one. I think that will probably be a game we'll maybe try and gameplay.
Right. I just wanted to say to Homicidal, it's like you were saying earlier when people question how you can be so happy about what you dealt, and it's like I embrace my schizophrenia because if you can't laugh about it, then it's not,
Then it's going to destroy you.
Yeah.
It's going to haunt you. That's why that's why I'd always keep upbeat about the fact that I've got problems with, going out to over 100 degrees C, which is like over 200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
I mean, could kill me, but I'm all up for being happy, being the happy guy that I am. I mean, you can't let it haunt you for the rest of your life. You've gotta let yourself be free from what you're suffering with, which is why I'm always upbeat, I'm always happy, I'm never letting it get me down. And it was affecting me a little bit earlier before the podcast as well. I felt the veins in my hands burning like God knows what. Well, that was when I said I need to turn my fan on quickly because it was
well, and it's like more power to you because babe, Solgr only knows more than anybody how much I embrace my schizophrenia and how much I'm intrigued in other stories and not over accomplishments, but you know what word I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm sleep deprived. I
know. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up soon. Okay. So continue with the list. There's Lawbreakers for PC, PS4 on August 8th. This one I haven't really looked anything. I haven't seen anything of, but I've been hearing about it. It's actually Cliff Bleszinski's new game. The guy that created the first two Gears of War. So Lawbreakers, that's his new game. There's Agents of Mayhem, August 15th, PS4, Xbox One, PC. I think that one's another kind of hero shooter, kind of in the veins of Battleborn, Overwatch, kind of Paladins kind of thing. The big one that I'm really looking for though, for August is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy on August 22nd. This one, we're this one we're definitely gonna get day one,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be streaming it, and we'll definitely be playing a lot of this at first so that we can get it wrapped up.
Streaming with you, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I get bummed when I'm like, oh, we're gonna do it, and then we don't. And I'm like,
I'm stoked for this. I mean, because it actually kind of started originally like a DLC. It was supposed to be like an Uncharted 4 DLC, but now it's the developers have said like it's a 10+ hour campaign. It's literally its own game now.
It's like the gaming version of a spin-off TV show.
Exactly, it is. Yeah, it's because it doesn't have Nathan Drake, so you're playing as we know that there's Chloe and Nadine. So
which I think is an interesting aspect because
it's going to be an interesting dynamic.
When they appear first in Uncharted, they're not the most lovable characters.
Mm-mm.
So it's like, what are they going to have done in the character building and like the character playing, like the backstory, to make you change your mind of how you perceived them the first time you met them?
Well, in one of the most recent trailers that came out for it, it showed Chloe and Nadine like fighting and just kind of like at each other. Like even those two, they look like that they're not even kind of on the best of terms. They're best of friends either. So
that's what makes it
I think it's more... I think it looks like it's a kind of dynamic of that they're reluctantly kind of forced to partner.
Right.
So whatever circumstances they're dealt, they're kind of like forced to.
There is this like
team up.
Percentage of gamers who played it who actually liked Nadine and the other one, I just forgot her name. Chloe. I, however, I didn't like Chloe, but I think it would be interesting to see it from her perspective. That's very intriguing. I'm excited. We are definitely getting that.
Yeah. Another one, this is actually a good one because this is the current game that we're playing on Spoopy Tuesday right now, Resident Evil Revelations 2. But Resident Evil Revelations 1 is finally coming out for PS4 and Xbox One on August 29th. So I'll probably pick that one up. So that would be another one to do for Spoopy Tuesday.
We can make it work.
Because I never played the first one. So and I had a lot of fun. Just this past Tuesday was the first episode of Revelations 2. Which I totally forgot. I still need to get up on YouTube, so I'll get that up on YouTube here soon.
No wonder you were always asking for rubs when you didn't have that chair and you had this one.
Yeah. And lastly, Life is Strange Before the Storm, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on August 31st, which is the Life of Strange prequel.
That's the end of this month. I need to finish it by the end of this month.
Yeah. Well, I've heard some debate. It's supposedly going to be the season or the whatever the story is going to be like 3 episodes.
Like the first one?
I think the first one was more than 3 though. I think it was like 4 maybe.
I think it was 4.
I think it might be 4.
But it was originally released in small episodes.
Yeah, if someone in chat knows, you can correct us. But I think it was 4. I'm not positive, but I did hear that this prequel one, I think it's going to be around 3. And you don't necessarily have to like wait and not play the second one and go and wait for the prequel, play that, then play the second. So I mean, I don't know.
I will have to play more of it, and I just.
I think the main character in that though isn't the one from the main one from the one you're playing. I'm not positive though.
On another thing, I think. At some point throughout our podcast, we should have like a Q&A where it's like, just interact with the people listening and even you, Homicidal, like, I think that would be an acceptable goal someday.
Yeah.
I'm like a squirrel right now.
I mean, definitely once because how I want to do it is earlier in the week, we like send out a tweet or something, like questions, like DCP, does like Twitter questions.
Exactly.
So then like all throughout the week, we post, if you have questions for us, so then we'll have them and we just go down the line.
Well, and that's.
So we just need more. It's just all about more interaction. We just need to do it more consistently, get it more out. And I'm glad you talked about this, because this is like really the only plan I had to mention in tonight's episode, and I almost forgot it. I'm glad I did.
I'm on fire.
I was talking to Homicidal about this the other day, because it's a couple new ideas that we have going for the channel. I mean, I've already talked a little bit about like the Team Extreme podcast we're working on, the Destiny podcast we're working on. But this is kind of just some stuff like for my channel that we're working on. We're gonna start. I want to start doing. It's going to be kind of like the Daily Dose, how it's a segment at the beginning of the stream, and then we'll record it, put it on YouTube. But it's not going to be an everyday thing. I don't know what day yet, but it'll be like a 1 day a week thing. I'm gonna call it Broadcast Boot Camp. So it's kind of like Twitch help and tips and stuff like that. We'll have guests on it. I'm sure Homicidal will do it with me at times. I'm sure I was talking to Stylus about it on Twitter. I'm sure Stylus said he wants to join us. Hang on. And then lastly, the other thing is I want to start doing Saturday spotlights or Spotlight Saturday. Something I need to work with the name a little more, but bottom line is kind of a podcast type thing, and then we'll have every week have a guest on it that's a streamer and interview, kind of like that.
What I was going to say is it would be cool to have like a joint talk segment where we interact, because I honestly really enjoy when HomicidalLiu is in on our podcast too. It's just there's more life to it. I mean, like, yeah, there's life to it when we do it, but it's not just us nice,
talking right here. It's
it's nice to get an outside view of, okay, well, maybe with the way we're looking at it is different compared to what somebody else is looking at it, and we won't know unless we
exactly.
You won't know unless you go out there and ask, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Sort of like that. There's also one thing I want to add as well, and talk a little bit about.
Yes.
Which would be our achievements so far in any game that we've gotten. I'm not on about achievements like you get in game, but what our goals that we've managed to get in a certain game, any game.
Especially with a lot of the games we play. I mean, we play a lot of grindy ass games too, like Destiny and Warframe and Borderlands, and we play a lot of grindy games too. So that's a good idea.
That is a really good idea. That definitely is just the interaction and the joint talk. Like it's.
Well, one of my favorite kind of podcast things we've done is there was 4 of us. Remember, it was the Daily Dose special edition one when we did the E3 special edition one, when it was me, Homicidal, Mr. Solaris X, and Inebriation. So there was 4 of us. And we talked. I think that was almost like an hour and a half one, and
yeah, it was, because
I mean, this one right now is an hour and 15 minutes.
It was a holiday, and I had to work, but you didn't. So then, when I went on my hour lunch, it just so happened to be right at the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
I listened to it my entire lunch. It would freeze, but then play and freeze and then play, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that one was a really good one. Yeah. So I want to keep doing guests, even like ours.
I just want to have more of a join talk, join the conversation, get in and ask us questions.
That's why I usually try and read chat as well,
and that's why I like having Homicidal. I love having you on and being able to play zombies, and it's always a good time, and it's fun to widen the horizon of.
Especially we got a dope community of homies and stuff too, like we can have Solaris on it, and Stylus and Saint. I've been talking to Saint too. He's down to come on our show, but then also do the Destiny one and some of the other stuff we have working on. So
all you listening,
bottom line, there's a lot of stuff in the works for our channel. So
and all you listening out there, tune in again, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, or there's no such thing as my personal opinion. Well, my personal opinion is complete opposite. There's still respect for both opinions.
Yeah, don't be afraid to show your opinions.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to join in and interact, because that's what we're all about. We enjoy it.
That's why I joined Team MZ. Community and community building and all that stuff. So
goals, work in progress.
Yeah, so yeah, if you are watching this, you can send like the Twitter questions we were talking about. You can send them. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsNerd48. So you can send them there. Yeah.
If you're interested in anything that I do outside of the podcast and stream, I like to work on puzzles, and I have an Instagram of Fusha only.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I found the perfect board to start my next Fallout puzzle that I might do next weekend, depending on how wedding planning.
I can't wait to get them on the wall.
Is yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know, because I really really want to work on it, but I don't know what the wedding prep is gonna be. So I'm like, soon. It is going to happen soon. I need my puzzle fix.
Yeah, and also if you are watching this on YouTube, I'll have links to everyone that we talked about and everything, to all their Twitch channels and stuff in the description down below. So make sure you stop by there and give them some love and follows and all that action.
Don't be afraid to check out HomicidalLiu and his crazy talent of
OSU and what's the other one? Stepmania?
Yeah, speaking of OSU, there's one major achievement I've actually done on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so proud of getting it. That would be reaching... Because in OSU, you got like a ranking system. And the lowest rank you can get, I don't know, is like over like 500,000.
Damn.
I've actually managed to reach the ranking of 9,902.
So the lowest you can get is like 500,000, around that?
Over 500,000.
Over. Yeah, and then to hit 9,000, like, yeah, that's crazy.
That is.
Yeah, there's a point on one of the other game modes as well, on Osu, because you got 4 game modes on it, see?
Mm-hmm.
And on one of the game modes, I'm actually at 1 million ranking.
Didn't he do...
This was a show back.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but didn't he do
that's fine.
The free game for like the race track?
Oh yeah. I still need to play that. The
Rift Racer.
Yeah, the one you
yeah.
you sent me on Steam. Yeah.
Rift Racer.
Looks fun.
Yeah.
I don't think I could play it for very long. It looks really fun though, but the colors might screw with my eyes.
Yeah, cause I forgot when I was watching him stream that you were next to me and you were watching it with me. That's right. I forgot about that.
I'm your PNC.
Partner in crime.
Forever.
Yeah. The thing about the cars here is you can change the style of cars, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's like one that hurts your eyes a bit too much, or one that you just don't like, you got like a currency on it. For every coin you to pick up adds 10 to your currency.
Oh, okay.
And you can buy different cars, different colors for the cars, and I don't think there's in-game purchases.
Right.
That's my guilty pleasure, is racing games.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You did used to play those too.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at them. I used to be good at them, but it's not like the racing games where it's all sports fast cars. It's like Mini Coopers and like that Gotham one that I love so much. I think
it was PGR, probably Project Gotham Racing. Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah, but there's with rhythm games as well. There's one reason why I'm good at them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, well, 2 basically. For me, it's knowing what's going to come up before it comes up, which is why I'm so quick with hitting the keys on Osu. And also with the keys on Osu, you got to have really good hand-eye coordination.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be peak up top there, which, it's hard to get a hold of, but you will get it in the end.
Exactly. It's like you just got to know where to look. Like a little trick I learned when I went to the Boys and Girls Club and they were teaching me how to shoot hoops. It's like aim for the back of the rim, and then you're more likely to. It's just tricks like that. But that racing game, when you show me it, I was like, that looks fun.
Well, yeah. I mean, when we watched him play like Osu and stuff, he's so damn fast. There's no way, like, you would have to try.
Unreal.
You have to like predict what's coming next. Like to be that fast. That's the only way you can get that fast.
I mean, like one of the songs on the video I sent you, Galaxy Collapse, that is actually one of the songs I've tried completing for 2 damn years.
Oh, damn.
Without any mods. 2 years it took me, and when I completed it, well, on the video, I showed no reaction, but that was because it was a replay. My sister was in the room at the time. I was sitting on my rocking chair. My sister was sitting on my bed. As soon as I completed the song, I literally threw my keyboard on the floor.
Right.
And good job it was my brother's keyboard that I was given to him. It's not damaged, so
Well,
I threw the keyboard on the floor. I was excited.
It was all in victory, and all that
Oh, yeah.
dedication paid off. I mean, that's the best. It's like you have those moments where it's so good, you just gotta get up and walk away, like a drop mic.
Mic drop. It's the gaming version of a mic drop.
It really is. That's incredible. See, so
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think it's gonna probably do it for this week.
I need to recuperate and put laundry away and relax.
Yeah, it's gonna do it. So yeah, like I said, make sure you check the description box down below and check out the links there. Drop everyone a follow that I'll have down in there. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. If you like the video, sub to the channel for more content, and please stop by the stream sometimes. We stream every day at twitch.tv/SolgrOnly. And you can also catch the show every Sunday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, live there as well. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Deuces. Peace out.